holiday shopping season. It is a busy time of year for sure, and more of that shopping is now done online, and so that is nice. It makes it easy, it makes it convenient in a lot of ways, but it also brings with it some risks. And so we are joined now by Matt Rose. He is the CXO of TechRage IT in Winter Springs. And Matt, always enjoy having you on, and thanks for being here on Fox 35 News Plus this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Garrett. Happy to be here again.
All right, so we want to talk a little bit about cybersecurity and just some important things for people to keep in mind because, like I was saying in kind of the setup there, so much of shopping now is done online, whether that's on computers or whether that's on our phones.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, obviously, pretty much everybody is shopping online. I don't really know anyone who runs out for Black Friday deals anymore. And plus, you can kind of start the deals, Tuesday, Wednesday, and get going. So there's just a lot to it, and the attackers they know that, and they're going to come after you in multiple areas to get you, to try to get your data and get you to fall for something.
So,
Um,
so what should people really be kind of aware of and be kind of looking out for? What should they keep in mind here?
So, I mean, it's a lot of the same things, we always tell everybody, but the phishing scams will get a bit different now. Everybody's used to phishing scams for various reasons. Right now, they're going to do things where they're going to tell you that you bought something and they're going to say, here's your receipt. Or they're going to email you a fake sale for a TV you might want or something of that nature. So you really have to be vigilant to your email. And again, this goes to any email address you use. They're going to get through, they're going to figure out a way to get there. And one of the ones that can be more scary is obviously you get this fake receipt, which sometimes people are just smart enough to go, I'll check my credit card. But you also get a fake shipping. Like they'll say, like, here's your tracking number. Now you wonder, did someone else buy you something? Did your mother or did your aunt or something ship you something? And you're checking the tracking to make sure to be home. So phishing scams are the first, kind of big thing to stay vigilant about. Some of the other ones that that are a little harder to catch sometimes is they'll put up fake websites. You think you're going to Best Buy and there's a small letter missing and you're going to a different website and all of a sudden you're putting your credit card info in a fake site. So those are a couple of the big ones out there. Sorry.
And it can be a little bit scary to think of just like how many times we're just typing in our credit card information
Yeah.
on all these different websites, even legitimate websites.
Mhm.
But so what are some things we can do to on our end? I know we've talked before about data breaches and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that's a whole other kind of monster here. But on our end, when it comes to creating these accounts on all these different websites, passwords, what's some handy things for that? And when it asks us if we want to save our credit card information on that website, is that a good idea, or should we leave that box unchecked?
So a couple things there to go through. So passwords, yeah, you always want to be careful with your passwords. We've probably mentioned it via the different times we've talked, but if you have a password manager, there's large, products like LastPass out there. They can be interesting to get to use them, but that way you don't have the same password everywhere. So you're not putting in the same password for your Facebook and for your LinkedIn and your Twitter and the same place. So you have to definitely be careful with that. As for if you're going to save your credit card, it could, if you're on the right site like Amazon, it's nice to have it there. But yeah, then you also run the risk that if someone gets in your Amazon account, they're able to purchase right from there. So I would say you typically want to err on the side of not doing it, especially at the holidays. Sometimes these deals are legit, but sites you're not used to buying from. So sometimes you're going to some site, it's not Amazon, it's not these exact ones, even though if it's legit, and you probably don't want to save it there because that company could also have a breach and your credit card information's out there. There's one thing that I don't know if we've talked about. There's different websites out there or companies out there that allow you to do, even some of the credit card companies. You can basically do a virtual credit card number. So you can do a credit card number that gets given to you kind of instantly. It's linked to your credit card, but if somebody were to get it and try to use it, they can't use it anywhere else. So it was only good for, let's say, $500 or whatever you're purchasing. So that's another option you can have, just kind of keep secure on the credit card standpoint.
Kind of like a burner credit card number in some ways.
It's a great way to put it. I've heard of people doing it for I've heard of, companies doing it to give kind of a limit, but it's also a way that if you just don't know somebody and you kind of just want to buy this one product, but you don't know what's going to happen after the fact or whatnot, or if you're going to get charged for a membership, you can do that and they won't be able to bill it afterwards. So that is a kind of a cool feature that more and more people are using.
Okay, so I'm going to the coffee shop. I'm going to get me a peppermint mocha and sit down and maybe do some holiday shopping on the public Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Is that something I should do, or should I just stay on the data network?
So yeah, the public Wi-Fi always seems great, and hopefully it's actually working well. But it can be very scary out there on those. So I always recommend your data network. If you have a laptop or a tablet, phones, typically most phone plans have free tethering, which is when you use your data from your phone. I would say to do that. And if you have to use public Wi-Fi, you really want to use a VPN, or there's a newer service called Secure Edge, which is a little more cutting edge and more in the business world. But there's a ton of really good VPN products out there, and that way even if you're connecting to a non-fully safe Wi-Fi network, you at least have a secure tunnel, as they call it, for your data to get to where it's going.
All right, so what's the bottom line here, Matt? We know so many people are going to be shopping. They probably are. Like you said,
Yep.
those Black Friday deals already on a lot of websites, and here we are Monday. So
Yeah.
we know it's only going to pick up from here, but this is something everyone has to kind of be aware of and watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of the same stuff, but just moving more vigilant. Your emails, be really sure what you're clicking on. Hover over, all the email platforms so that you see where you're going. If it's too good to be true, like if someone's offering a gift card or something like that, it's probably is too good to be true. I would also just say check your credit card balances frequently. You probably want to know how much you're spending too, but also that way if you see a charge. So there's some things you can do manually, but you just have to be really careful and make sure anyone in your household is doing that as well, because they will try to take advantage when people are trying to buy as quickly as possible to take advantage too. They want to buy this thing before the sale is over.
All right, Matt Rose, CXO of TechRage IT in Winter Springs. Good stuff to keep in mind there. We appreciate you joining us on Fox 35 News Plus.
Thanks, Garrett.